Good evening, wizards, and welcome to a very, very special episode 32 of Wizard Wednesdays. Now, guys, in just a matter of hours, it's going to be Thursday. It's Wednesday evening, the usual time for Wizard Wednesdays. Now, what will be happening from Thursday onwards is we are going to officially be counting down the 2-week countdown to the launch of the Wizard platform. Now, you may have seen this page before. We've shown this before, but it's going to be a little different this time, and we have some very, very, very exciting things behind this current platform login page you see. Now, I don't even know where to begin, guys. It's been 8 months worth of work. We've been adding features non-stop. You guys have been asking for more content. We've been giving you absolutely everything we can think of to incorporate into this platform. Now, we're going to log in. Before we actually begin this Wizard Wednesdays, we are going to actually kickstart by showing you the first ever revealer and the first ever insight into your new home for cryptocurrencies. Now, when we log in, we're going to show you the first thing you're going to be seeing behind this scene. Now, what you're going to be seeing here, guys, is essentially a dashboard. It's essentially going to be your home. The first thing you see every single time you log into the platform, you'll be greeted with this particular page. So before we actually get started on this Wizard Wednesdays, I'm going to take you through some of the pages of the actual platform absolutely live for the first time ever. We're going to be breaking down every single feature on those pages, and then we're going to get into Wizard Wednesday. So it goes without saying, I cannot wait to log in, so I can only presume you guys cannot wait to see what's behind this as well. Let's go and have a log in and see what is behind this page. Welcome to the Wizard platform, your new home for everything crypto and the key to your freedom. Let's jump straight into your dashboard, which we have built and designed to be your very own Wizard assistant. Now, the first thing you will notice on the left is a tile which shows some form of rural and urban city. Now, what this is, guys, this is essentially a weather tile and also a location tile which shows you exactly wherever you are in the world. This will be relevant to where you are and what you are doing. We have built this to essentially be your home, and that means for it to be your home, it has to feel like home. It has to be exactly like what you would see from your own window. So what this will actually do live, not only does it show the weather, not only does it show your location, and not only does it show your time, as you can see here, it will also adapt to your location, which means wherever you are in the world, whether that's a city, a town, whether you're in the countryside, whether you're in the farm, no matter where you are, the images will even change. The weather will represent the actual weather shown in your current location. So the way we see this is going to be your home. You're not going to be leaving this platform because everything you have is right here in one single portal. So that means you have to at least know what is going on in the outside world. But there's not just that. If you actually shift over to the right tile, right in the center, you will notice there is a man on a computer watching a video, which actually happens to be the CryptoWZRD video. Now, this just shows, and something I wanted to actually express, the amount of detail we have put in behind the scenes. This is more than just education. This is more than just content. We have put our heart and soul into this to ensure everything you guys need, even extra, is included within this platform. Now, you will notice he's wearing a Wizard hoodie. This will also be available very soon. You will be matching the merchandise that your own avatar is wearing on your platform. You will even notice the books he's reading are the actual books from the library, which I'll be showing you very shortly as well. And the video itself is actually from the course, which I may be including very soon in this video. Moving over to the right hand tile, and the final tile of the top segment is the status tile. Now, what this will essentially do, you will notice right now it says status not live. This will remain not live until a certain event pops up. Now, when I say a certain event, I mean live events, and that means every 2 weeks, for members only, we will have live webinars and live breakdowns where all of us can engage together, we can converse, we can have all kinds of discussions on absolutely everything cryptocurrency. So that means every 2 weeks, you will notice, you will actually know how this will come forward. Let's just say, if you go to the upcoming tab on the right, you will never be able to miss a single live, a single podcast, a single Wizard Wednesdays, a single meetup. On the upcoming tab here, we will be adding to the calendar every single event or date or timeline or any form of meetup that you need to be aware of. The status live here will then segment over to that, and you can then watch this live, and we'll be showing you this very soon as well. Going a little lower underneath the upcoming tile, you can see a to-do list. Now, what this essentially is, again, keeping this like your Wizard assistant, that means for this to be like your home, it has to feel like home. And it means means for everything you do in your personal space. Why have it on a piece of paper? Why have it on a different file? Why use a different software? Your to-do list, your notes can now be incorporated within the platform itself and live on your dashboard. As you can see here, I've got some little notes myself, even going over the platform. You can tick these when they're completed. You can delete them when you are finished. You can do absolutely everything to ensure to be in control of your trading. You have to be in control of your life as well, vice versa. So it goes without saying, what a better way to be in control of your own life than having your own progress to track as you progress throughout the educational journey of the Wizard platform. As you can see here on the Your Progress tile, we have the course percentage bar. The measurement here will show you how you are progressing throughout the course. It will be tracking every single video you watch, every single video you complete, and every single time you mark a video complete, your progress will increase over here. The same goes for the library, which I'll be showing you very shortly. The library, as you progress through every book, every single page you read will contribute towards your percentage and growth of education. The same goes for examinations. We have over 300 exam questions readily available for you to learn alongside the overall course contents. The course and library combined with the examinations is going to bolster your progress tenfold. And there's a little bonus. If you notice on the right hand side over here, we have a little arrow pointing upwards. If you click this arrow, you have your learning reports where you can now take control of your education better than ever and never before seen in any other form, or I guess you could say concept. The learning reports over here will track everything from your battle of wizards to your education to your examination progress. You can see exactly where improvement may be needed. You can see exactly where you are thriving. Everything you need is right here within your portal. And if you go just below, you can see you no longer even need to worry about Twitter too much, because every single live and most recent tweet I post will be mirrored in here exactly. You will have live tweets updating within the platform dashboard itself. Going over to the right hand side, you may notice this is a bit different to Twitter. This will be the news section. This will be where our in-house team of Wizard news article writers will be contributing and posting news that you have not seen elsewhere. This will be beyond the norm. As you know, I am sick and tired of media outlets posting false information, misinformed information, or even FUD or drama or propaganda. We are going to have our own news page now, so you will never miss a single key fundamental detail. Even if the market does not necessarily react to fundamentals, you will have everything you need to remain in the loop of cryptocurrencies. And there's even a little bit more. Scrolling down, we have the calendar to match and technically work alongside and confluence with your to-do list. When you go to the calendar, anything you need, let's just say today is the 16th, simply go over to the tab. Let's set the date for the 16th of October, set the event, let's just say BTC short. Enter a BTC short, add this there, and you can see it now pops up on your calendar. You can add as many as you want. You can fill up every single page if need be, and you can of course go back and forth and expand this from here as well. It can literally never end. But if we just go back for 1 second and we actually go back to here, if I click on this tab, a nice convenient way to actually show you what you may have going on for the week, what you may be going on for the day. If you simply click here, it will pop up here and let you know in the corner with another little notification, a push notification on what you have set out for that day. So in saying that, why don't we take a little scroll above and have an even further in-depth look into what exactly is going on within this platform. So we've got a nice little setup here. Hope you guys are liking what you're seeing so far. I'm now going to be showing you something a little bit more exciting. So you will notice in the middle, in the tile where it says continue where you left off, this will actually, when clicked, take you straight to the last lesson you watched and to the exact point of where you left that video. So it goes without saying, I haven't actually watched the video myself yet, so it should hopefully take me straight to the very start of the video, and I'll even be playing the first intro and a little bit of a teaser of the first chapter, lesson 1, for all of you as well. So let's just click this. And as you can see, we now have the courses tab and the courses page. This has been carefully constructed to be as efficient as possible and aid your education further. The whole predominant feature of this page is of course the video, the education itself. We need you to be seeing in as much clarity and as clear as possible exactly what is going on. Notice you go down. It's not just that, we wanted to add more. When it comes to education, as we said prior, on the dashboard, being in control of your life also means you need to be responsible. You need to be taking notes. You need to be on top of your daily duties. You need to be on top of your education. When you're revising for an exam, they recommend you take notes. Before you go into an exam, you take notes. So we've decided to incorporate, after all of your feedback and careful consideration, you can now add notes as you learn. As you are learning, you can simply enter whatever you want. This will appear nicely here, and again, if we go down, you'll notice you can drag this, you can extend this to fill as much information as possible. There is no longer a need to be writing on paper, to be using external applications. We want you to be right within this portal, learning, convenience, everything you need is a stone throw away. And what a better way to have your notes conveniently associated on your platform by simply, when you are done, press this over here. This will export a file and a note for you to actually keep on your computer. It will be as a PDF and you can do whatever you want. This will then be incorporated on a wizard piece of paper, which we'll be seeing very soon in the near future. So what I'll be doing now, I'll just be showing you a little teaser of the first video and the first chapter to give you a little bit of an insight into what will be coming forward and how the course itself starts off from a beginner level and progresses to a very high level of expertise. Even if you are a beginner or you are an expert, there is content here that has never been seen before in the educational space, in the cryptocurrency space, in the trading and investment space. There are strategies here which have never been seen before, and I've never seen a single person post them. So let's have a little look at what lurks in this video. So what are cryptocurrencies? Cryptocurrencies have recently become the talk of the town. It's on the news, it's in the papers, and quite frankly, everyone is talking. So that's enough for now. I do not want to give too much away, but I hope you're now getting the gist. We've got all of this over here. It's official, it's educational, it's clean, it's sharp, and it gets straight to the point. The goal here is for you to be improving yourself every single day in the easiest manner possible. At the end of the day, I've told you guys this before, education and learning and trading does not need to be hard, and it can be simplified, and there's so much mess out there, there's so much confusion. There is no longer a need for that. There is no longer a need to be confused. Everything you need will be simple, clean, and concise. And as you can see up here, this would then correlate directly with your dashboard. You can mark this complete, you can skip to the next lesson, which I obviously will not be doing just yet, but as you can see, it's all embedded within a single platform. So what we'll be doing now is going over to the library. What we have here on the library is, of course, 8 books that you may have seen before, including some new ones. We have the Wizard book in its entirety. We have tens of thousands of words, over 30,000 words worth of content embedded within the platform itself. This is to complement the 100+ videos within the course, the over 24 hours worth of video content. You will be learning for days and weeks. The education never ends. And to top it off, the platform will be evolving. This is something we call evolve. What this means is, for absolutely free of charge, we said this from the very beginning, the goal here is to change the industry forever and revolutionize education as you know it. So what that means is there is no longer a need to be sitting there waiting or paying additional for more content. When a new strategy comes forward, when the market dynamics change, if I discover anything new, I'll be writing it into new books. The library will be updated, the course will be updated, the examinations will be updated. So that is one of the most exciting concepts for me, knowing that that's just the educational sector. I haven't even got over to the tabs that you can see just above. Now I know you guys may have spotted them. Now we're going to break them down. So the first thing you'll notice here is, of course, dashboard, course, library, examinations. This is the beginning phase and the educational aspect and the educational corner on the left hand side. So from here you can easily switch back and forth between all of your tabs and keep your educational progress in one simple corner. As we move forward, and arguably, guys, my favorite page of them all, this page I cannot show you yet, but I will be showing you very soon. The Traders Hub itself is the most exciting page. It's dynamic, it's exciting, and it's moving. You will not leave this page once you go onto it, and I cannot wait to show you this very soon. As you guys know, from the calls over the past few weeks, the months, the precision, the amount of trades that we've been hitting week after week. You've been asking me, how am I doing this? How am I achieving this? What is going on here? The truth is, I've been using the platform now for over 3 months, and there's no coincidence that the trading, as many of you have noticed, has dramatically increased since I've started to incorporate the Traders Hub within my own personal trading. And I can hands down say this tab alone, and I cannot wait to show you in the near future and over the next 2 weeks as we start to go live, what is behind this tab. To complement the Traders Hub, we have the charts panel, which we'll be doing our analysis from today. You have your live portfolio, so there is no longer a need for the likes of Blockfolio or any other app you're using, because this is more exciting, it's more dynamic. And honestly, the features on the portfolio alone far obliterate what you've seen on any other portfolio or even coin tracker. You then have your journal for your live trades. You can track your trades, track your progress. You can see how many pips you made, how much money you've made or lost. This is down to education and remaining in control of your life. This is something I credit my own success to by having a journal, so it's only right you guys have a journal as well. Over here we have technical articles, Wizard Wednesdays, podcasts. You will have technical analysis posted in image format as well. It does not need to be just video format. I want you guys being blasted with content and education from all angles. And of course, the Wizard Wednesdays, the podcast, everything is within this single platform. You've got the news tab. You no longer need to go to external sources. The news you see on your dashboard will also have a full-on and a full-blown news page from this tab right here. Everything you need is right there. As we shift over, we then have the more gaming and the social aspect of WizMe and Battle of Wizards. The Battle of Wizards game, again, over these next 2 weeks, guys, I'm going to be showing you so much regarding Battle of Wizards, and not to mention WizMe. As you know, the whole theme here is disassociating from crypto Twitter, finding a like-minded community of wizards that are on the same wavelength. We can talk together on WizMe. Everything you want to do will be within WizMe. We will be communicating together. We will be discussing ideas, having polls. Everything will be available on WizMe. And then you will notice in the corner over here, we have the Wizard Marketplace and we have the Wizard Store, where of course the merchandise will be. The marketplace where you can buy your own themes, avatars, headers, calling cards. Absolutely everything is available on this platform. Now, to finalize this, before we actually get into the Wizard Wednesdays and go and break down the charts from scratch, you will notice we have a notifications tab. This over here is push notifications, whether that's WizMe, the marketplace, Wizard Wednesdays. Have you unlocked a new battle point? What is going on your other aspects of not just education as well? Everything you need will be here on a push notification and live notification basis. Going over to the CryptoWZRD tab, you have your profile, your settings, and of course everything else that goes with it. So it goes without saying, I hope you guys have enjoyed the little teaser you have for now, but honestly, the truth is, what is behind these tabs that I haven't shown yet is where the real golden nuggets lie. What I've shown you is just a speck and just a little speck and drop of water in a very, very large ocean. And once we start getting to the Traders Hub, guys, this is where you do not want to be missing out. This is where you do not want to be getting left behind. This is 8 months in the works to revolutionize the cryptocurrency space. The same way we're in the infancy stage for cryptocurrencies, the same way we are now in the infancy stage of the Wizard platform. And honestly, if we're starting off on this level, I cannot even comprehend where all of us wizards will be in a matter of years' time. So goes without saying, let's actually kickstart and go over to the chart. So here we have a very familiar page and slightly improved and bettered. As you can see, this is where the charts will be, very similar to what we've almost embedded in your minds already with the Wizard password page. You have your 4 tiles here for the 4 major cryptocurrency pairs. We've pre-embedded the Wizard color scheme for convenience, because right now many of you are absolutely loving this color scheme. So what we're going to be doing in this Wizard Wednesdays as well is breaking down the charts from scratch. We're going to be going in fresh. We're going to have a little bit of reanalysis. We've seen a bit of a pullback from BTC. I'm still holding that position, by the way, and it's something I'm focusing on a bit more for a long-term movement, but I haven't quite added that secondary position just yet because I'm not really liking the price action right now. It's been a bit of a sloppy few days in the market. I haven't been too fond of the price action, so we're going to be breaking this down together bit by bit, BTC and XRP, and understanding what should be going on moving forward. We're in a very complicated period in the market right now. We are currently, I guess you could say, wedged in between these key levels here. So what we're going to be doing is going in and just quickly breaking down these charts again, the key levels, because no matter how much we do it, I want you guys mirroring my chart. I want us in line with the same analysis and having the same key levels. So the first thing you'll notice is where we are right now. Let's have a little look at the current price action and where this currently is. Let's just mark off this zone here and then extend this all the way over there. The first thing you'll notice is the current price action and the $8,000 region is a lot more crucial than many people actually anticipated. And what we have right now, the reason I'm actually holding long with a simple key level, you can see we now have a head and shoulders forming on the daily. If I go over to the 1 hour time frame, you can see this a lot clearer. You have the shoulders, you have the head, and you have the shoulders forming yet again. Exactly as I covered before, it has pulled back a little bit more, but this key level here has kept me holding on. Not to mention, if we combine this with another factor as well, such as the Fibonacci on a daily, again, we will fix these very soon and organize all of these properly. You can see the 78.6 aligns perfectly with the $8,000 zone. Although we've seen a pullback and we entered here, it is actually a very small movement in comparison to the overall grand scheme of things. What I am looking at here, guys, is a long-term swing trade. Although I am still anticipating this $8,000 floor to actually become broken, I do feel like there could be some form of trickery to the upside first, and that is why I'm still holding on to this position for the time being. So if you notice, when we put this into perspective and you notice there is a 78.6 Fibonacci, the first thing you will also notice is when I go over to here and change this to the minus 0.27% and I change this to the minus 0.618. What you will notice straight away, once we get rid of this background and we add the percentages over here, let's get rid of all of this mess as well. We do not need any of this by any means necessary. What you will see now is the Fibonacci extensions aligned with 9,100, exactly where the prior wicks are, and we also have 9,400 and around $70 at this exact region as well. Now, if you go back to the prior charts, you will notice this is one of our crucial key levels. So all we're going to do, as you can see, look at this line here and look at the alignment with the candle bodies here on the daily. That for me is an instant zone I will mark out straight away. And the beauty is the Fibonacci extension of the 61.8 aligns exactly with one of our targeted regions. So in the grand scheme of things, things cannot look too promising, but I'm going to show you even more confluences that are still aiding me in maintaining this current position. We are here for long term. This is something I'll be discussing very soon as well. It's looking very messy, it's looking very sloppy, but we are still within these existing boundaries. So let's get rid of this Fibonacci for now, and I'll show you something that I've been looking at and something that even myself, I may admit, may have slightly miscalculated. So this is the first thing you will notice right now. So if I just thicken this up a little bit, extend this over here, you can see we've gone from wick to wick. We've actually broken through. We've now finally retested where I originally anticipated around this region as potential wick fishing. We've seen that, but the market is going even further with its trickery. But the problem is right now, and something that is confusing me a little bit and something that's got me a bit hesitant, but not enough to get out the position, is the general rule of thumb for the wizard analysis. Now, you know, when it comes to trendline retests, we normally go from wick to body or body to body. But because this setup is a little bit more complex, I've actually opted for this setup right now, and this is why I'm currently holding this position. We've broken through, and if we go off this basis here, this will be the first ever retest we've seen of this trend line officially. So I have extended my stop losses, and this would mean my position would be going from a 2% risk to potentially 3 to 3.5% risk. Now, we're going to be discussing risk in a second as well, and in a bit of depth actually, to kind of overcome any issues many of you have. We have a lot of new wizards on board, and I need to have you guys on the same wavelength to understand the strategies, understand the calls, and understand why one of the first losses we've had in many weeks, even when XRP went against us, BTC counteracted that with a major win. So this will technically be, if it does hit stop loss, the first real loss that I've seen in a while. But to be honest with you, it will not affect my bottom line profits or my account size, because we've made so much money off these calls, and this is why risk management is essential and something I'll be getting into very soon as well. But if we do extend this down there, this is what's caught my attention. So when we did initially break and retest, we did actually tap and fly upwards. That's how I kind of understood there was going to be a bit of wick fishing. And looking at where we are now, it does of course allow us a big possibility to actually drag down into this zone. So all I'll be doing, if I did see a movement like this down to here, I would simply be closed out of my position. I would then await price action over here and get straight back in for an even better risk to reward. You may have noticed I'm a bit emotionless when it comes to losses or even drawdown. That's because I calculate my my risk. And I understand over the past few weeks and past few months with the calls I've given, I've arguably made, and not even arguably, it's a fact, I've made thousands and thousands of percentage return on investment from my trades given. So if I'm risking, let's just say 5 or 10,000 on a trade, I'm ending up making 20 on that trade or 30. So the initial risk amount is always very minimal in comparison to the profits being made. That's why I use the example in the Telegram, as you may have seen. If, for example, you're using a £1,000 account and you're risking £20 per trade, if you end up making £60 or £100, you can still take a comfortable loss of £20 on a trade, knowing you haven't impacted your account balance, you haven't impacted your overall trading streak, you're still winning. And again, losses are part of the game, and this is something we must learn to understand and embed within our brains. No one here can ever be 100% correct. It's simply not possible, and I would be a major liar if I was actually giving that false information to you. This is simply a part of the game, and the goal here is not to avoid them, but to minimize the damage they cause as much as possible, and that's exactly what I'm setting out to do here. So you have to see the positive in every situation and understand the market adapts, evolves, and provides new opportunities every single day. If my stop loss is to get wiped out here in a 3 to 3.5% loss, I honestly do not care. Now, reason being is there's been thousands of percent made. So what is a 3% loss in comparison to thousands of percentage return on investment on a collective basis of several weeks or months? It does not matter. It's absolutely minimal, and I do not care. I understand that if price falls down to here, we have yet another setup forming. It's pushed down, it's wick fished even further. I'll simply execute again. Even better risk to reward. Look at this. I could go down to there if I really wanted to, if we do remain. And then suddenly you've got an even better probability setup, and you've got a much more profitable setup potentially on your hands. But obviously, if we do break through, I will be looking to then go short yet again. But for the time being, we are still within our boundaries of a long position, and we are still overall focusing on the possibility of going higher. Now, you'll remember I said in the beginning, I do believe by the end of October we could be shifting to a very large bullish breakout, and that does not take away from $7,000 or $6,000, but it does mean there is a very large possibility for an up and coming move soon. So when you go back to the daily over here as well, you will notice that the trend line I've drawn, if you want to use the daily for that as well, we can just draw that over there, push this down to around there, and as you can see, we're very nearly at that daily retest level. So this could confluence with about $7,900, and I'm not really too bothered to see that, because at the end of the day, when you consider that this is going on as well, you can see this is lining up quite nicely. We could see a little spike down to maybe wick fish around these regions. I'm not too bothered. If we tap this level, then guess what? If we remain within these boundaries, we're simply going to be revolving upwards. And you can see a bit clearer as well. If I move the Fibonacci, we've got the shoulders, the head, and the shoulder forming yet again. We are still within this boundary. We've seen it many times over where we've broken above, retested, looks like we were holding as resistance from support, and then we blew through the roof again. There is going to be a lot of manipulation around this region. After we've seen this fall, guys, the market is now in a state of confusion. The market is reevaluating and reassessing where it should be heading next, and it's up to us to move in synchronization with the market itself. So for the time being, the long bias still remains, and it has not changed whatsoever. But what's important for you guys to understand is risk management. I do not need to be receiving messages saying you've lost 30% or you've blown your account, because in brutal honest terms, that's down to yourselves for making that irrational decision. Because even if you do not have your risk management in check, the problem is I could give you 100% accurate calls every single time and never lose a single trade. But if your trade management skills and your risk management understanding is not correct, you will still lose those trades, as crazy as it sounds. You can have the most perfect of setups in the world, but if you are not controlling the risk and if you are over leveraging, then you are going to lose regardless, because I allow with a 3% risk and a small stop loss. If the market goes against me, I've simply had a miscalculation position, the overall bias still remains the same, and then I just re-enter, risking 3%. If I lose again, it's only 6% in my head. When you are losing 30 to 40, 50%, or even blowing an account off a movement this short, then that means your position is massively over leveraged. You should not be losing your entire account off a single movement like this. Off a movement like this, maybe If you entered from here long and you didn't put a stop loss, I can understand losing a fairly significant amount, maybe even 10-30%. But if you are abiding by the guidelines, if you have stop losses in place, if you're putting stop losses in profit, you will never have to suffer that fate. And that is something we must understand and identify and catch on to quickly if we want to grow in this space. So it goes without saying, understand there is a little bit of a risk possibility here, especially if you just drag this down a little bit lower. We can see there is a bit of a confluence with this lower region again for a final bit of wick fishing. So it's up to you how you want to play this. For me personally, I do not mind taking a little hit to simply reevaluate and re-enter from here. It's completely down to how you want to play it. If you want to close now and take that little gamble as well, by all means you can do so, but this is still adding up very nicely for me right now. Not to mention the weekly time frame, as you can see, it's just simply showing you exactly what I showed before. We've reversed from this region here. I can show you this here, 3-pin pattern, broken above. We've now pulled back. We've come back down to around the midpoint of where the prior price action was. We're resting on a crucial level that was once resistance, now turns support. And by the end of the week, this could very easily flip back up to the upside. We've still got our key levels here. Everything for me still remains the same. I believe this could be right now some very early week manipulation, early week wick fishing. We can even draw a trend line here. You will notice there's a trend line growing from this department as well. And if we go back down to the daily with a little bit of optimization, you can see there's a nice crossing point. If I do extend this out back to where it was, you can see the crossing point here of this trend line with this counter trend line retest. It's a very nice confluence, exactly how we had down at $6,000. So essentially this here for me, I may even add another position if we do this. And to be honest with you, it's very likely I would do so. Understanding this is up to here and then looking at where this is right now, looking at that risk to reward on this particular setup, even if you want to go for a wide stop loss, you're still looking at around a 4-to-0 risk to reward ratio. So should we tap this level, I'll mark that out right now. If we see that little push lower to this cross point here, I'll mark this out at around $7,900, then I will be executing another long position. It's in very rare circumstances I actually like to add multiple positions, but because I'm going for a more longer term outlook and a longer term ride, remember a movement, we've already caught this movement. If we catch the similar movement back up, you've recouped any form of drawdown anyway, and this is what you have to understand. Although 99% of the time every trade is given from the wick region and from the peak of wick fishing, occasionally things can go a little bit off track. It happens, and human being, I will always accept that and never hide away from it. So looking at where this is, if I am still within my bias, if the candles are still remaining within the boundaries for a long position, then by all means necessary position adding can be implemented. If we start wiping out from here and you just keep adding positions, you're obviously only lying to yourself, and it's going to end in disaster rather than any positive. So I hope this has really cleared up the BTC aspects as well, and hopefully you guys can see the bigger picture here as well. If we actually go over to here and just mark this out as well, and I believe, sorry, from here, this is where the prior wick was, you can see there's a nice alignment with the 61.8 at that $9,500 region. The confluences are still very strong, and if you look at where this aligns up, $7,000 and $6,000 to the absolute T. So the overall longer term bias still remains within order. You can see here we could potentially be going up to here, tapping, and then coming all the way back down before inevitably blowing through the roof by the end of 2019. Nothing has changed, everything remains the same. We're simply looking at a potential drive to the upside first. As you can see, higher highs have now been forming, higher low, and potentially another higher low if we remain within this level. If we tap here and we enter and the candle closes back above the 78.6, which is here, then we have set ourselves up for a very high probability, very highly profitable trade setup. Going over to XRP, let's get breaking down and have a little look at what's going on this side. Let's get rid of the volumes, and again, XRP is looking great. And there's nothing I love more than a clean chart, because it allows me to express further how I view the markets even without any analysis on there. This is something you will be seeing within the platform. You guys are asking me, how do I get these calls and will I be showing everything? Guys, I'll be showing absolutely everything. I have nothing to hide and a huge amount to show, and I'm going to be showing you everything. The beauty is here, and something I'm trying to show you is you do not need crazy indicators. You do not need all these fancy algos and all this crazy stuff. You simply need clean price action to get you where you need to be. The first thing we'll do on XRP before we break it down a little bit further is just yet again mark out those key levels very predominantly. And something that I've noticed right now, 0.3, the precision on that level, we've already technically fulfilled our target, and that's exactly why I said let's get out of that position whilst it's safe to do so. That's why with the XRP win, we've technically counteracted any drawdown on XRP yet again anyway. So marking off this key level, first of all, we do need to be a bit cautious for the time being because there are lower lows and lower highs being formed. But what I do see potentially happening, especially with what's going on right now, let's mark this out. This is already fulfilled. We can see we've fulfilled the new lower high. Potentially, we do have a trend line forming as well, a counter trend. So we are looking at a bit of risk here to potentially break, snap down, retest, and go short. The point is, the trades are now closed anyway. I'm out. I wasn't even in this position myself, but if you guys were in this, you hopefully were at least getting out of this position where we said to take profits exactly here. If you want to take a bit of a risk, then you can leave your stop losses here, but we were very likely going to be seeing a retest of 0.28, which has happened exactly at 0.28. So showing you that bias, first of all, let's just whip out another few more weekly key levels just to put this in a bit more perspective of where we currently are in terms of price movement. Adding the second region here, this is a crucial zone for myself. You've got the candle closures here, you've got prior wick action here as well. We're nicely in between this zone yet again, and this could be forming the bias and the aid. Even if we do not see that extra push to 30, 31, 32 cents, you are still expecting what should be a drag down. I'm still expecting 20 cents. I'm still even anticipating potentially 15 cents. But for the time being, this is my major focus. And we're focusing on the short term whilst the market provides a slightly clearer sign of what's going on. I wouldn't really be advising shorts just yet because even though we are seeing this movement here, on this perspective, we are forming higher highs and higher lows. And because we've been seeing it organically in a point of we're breaking through resistance, we're retesting a support, and then if we drag this over here, we can see we broke through, we're now retesting a support yet again. Whereas before, we just saw very large movements to the upside. So because we are seeing that growth slightly more organically, it's in our best interest to just practice patience. I wasn't in the trade initially, and if you guys were and you've taken profits, do not get greedy, do not be urged to jump back in. Patience is the best bet here. So let's just await XRP to form some more movement. If we see this break above, await a retest, I will be going long straight away upon this retest. We can then catch this movement all the way up if we do see a nice break, potentially to 32 to 33 cents. And just remember, with lower lows and lower highs forming, we do have to be careful. If this gets wiped out and then we see a pullback, then I'll definitely be going long. Because if we wipe out this high here, come back down and retest, the long opportunity will very likely take us back into the 38 to the 40 cents region. So there are all kinds of crazy scenarios going on right now, but it's currently a 50-50 gamble. And that means if it's a 50-50 gamble, the odds are not in our favor and we cannot be associated with that particular setup. And that's why patience and carefulness and just a strategy and some form of self-control has to be in play. Marking this out over here, you can see if we do see a little bit of a dip lower and BTC starts rising, that correlates even better with XRP's current position. We've got the Swell Conference obviously contributing to some form of growth that's happening in November, the very early phases of November, and that may be contributing to some form of drive. But at the end of the day, the BTC dominance is still above 65%. The coins are still following BTC. So going off a price action basis alone, we're progressing higher. And if we see a little bit of a pullback, maybe even to this trend line here, it will correlate with BTC's extra push to the downside, where from there onwards, we can really begin to focus on what can be going on from here. Understanding this as well, if we go down to the 4 hour, you can see this a little clearer. Yet again, you've got the trend line, again, nice and clean, very simple price analysis right now. Broken resistance, 2 taps this level, came through, rejected, nice little trend line here. And if we mark out this, let's just say from here to there, you are currently rested at the 61.8 and the 50% region. We've tapped the 61.8 precisely. We have got the 78.6 below. If you do see a little bit of a push with BTC to the downside before reversing, then this would trick many people to go short. If we hit the 78.6, everyone will think we've broken the trend line, but then we could very easily close above and absolutely rock it. So all we're doing for this scenario again is mirroring exactly what we've just seen. Let's get rid of all of these levels and add yet again the minus 0.27 and add the minus 0.618. And then once we've got this marked out, we've got rid of this, added the percentages. And again, guys, I'm doing this so you can mirror exactly what I'm doing. Looking at this setup here, we have in our scopes 31 cents and 32 cents, exactly the zone that is given. And it's no coincidence that I've given these zones several days ago to even a week ago now. But now that we're starting to form this Fibonacci setup, it's aligning ever so nicely with this. And here's the final confluence I want to add to BTC before this video ends. You will notice the trend line here counter trend yet again. If we see a breakout, just as we've seen many times before, it's all about patterns with XRP, and XRP follows these very nicely. Got pattern breakouts here, pattern breakout even there, breakout, retest, boom. Looking at it here, breakout, retest there as well. If we just mark that out a little bit, it's not too precise, but you get what I mean. Breakout, retest. Let's go over here. You can see it yet again happening in real time. Marking that out. Look at that manipulation, the wick fishing, the precision of that wick. We tapped it, went back to the overall trend line and continued our movement. So going off what XRP has been currently doing, it's looking to just continue moving in synchronization with that for the time being. So what I'd like to see, ideally, as nice as it is to go long right now, I still do not really want to be buying at the highs. XRP for me looks a bit more favorable, at BTC, because it's pulled back a little bit lower. So hopefully we just see that little tap to that $7,900 region, maybe even a bit lower, and I'll execute another position, and hopefully we see that very large breakout. And if you want to mirror that over to BTC as well, we have that channel forming as well. So if we tap this level, breakout of this channel, retest, boom, we'll be flying on our merry way to continue. So the main point of this video was to not only reanalyze and show you what I'm seeing and why I'm still holding that position, but also to reassure you there's nothing wrong with this strategy. And if you follow this strategy, when it comes over a longer term period, you will never lose. You will always be a winner and you will always be profitable. Now guys, when it hits Thursday tomorrow, we are going to be counting down 2 weeks to the CryptoWZRD platform launch. Now, what you'll be seeing over this 2-week period is all of the tabs I have not yet shown you. I'll be showing you all of the aspects of the Battle of Wizards, the marketplace, you name it. You will start to see everything that you've been waiting for and everything we've been working on for 8 months now. The reason this has taken longer than normal is because you guys have told us exactly what you want. And we know when it comes to education, and I know when it comes to education, you need everything. You need it in one hub. When I started off, I did not have this chance. I did not have this opportunity to grow at such a rapid pace. And everything we've learned over the years, we've formulated and thrown into this platform. It no longer needs to be complicated. Education can be easy. Making money can be easy. And earning yourself a living and freedom, eventually breaking out of that 9 to 5, it does not have to be hard, and we will guide you there every step of the way to achieve your goals and visions.